A good man and a good partner are not the same thing. Now, before I go into that topic a little more, I want to just recap. I've been making memes since 2024, and this is actually going to be the 12th meme I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you 12 different memes on the topic of good men because there's a lot of ideas out there in the world about good men. One is that being good should be rewarded when it comes to a man by getting a relationship. But that is really strange because we teach children, even toddlers, to be good. And we don't reward them for it in the way that a grown man expects to be rewarded. We don't give them a cookie every time that they are good. We expect them to meet our expectations for manners, for kindness, for correct behavior, for self control. If they throw something because they get angry, they get punished. But somehow, after the age of 18, some men think they should be able to get away with that. If they yell and scream when they get angry, they get punished or corrected or redirected. But somehow, some men think they should be able to get away with that after the age of 18 because they are now grown. And so, I guess the ideas of behavior that we impose on children somehow don't apply to them. So, I wrote a meme about that. And then there's also the idea that good men benefit from bad men's behavior because they get to say, this is why you need us. This is why we protect you. See that bad man over there? If I wasn't here, oh my gosh, what would happen to you? So you need me in your life because he exists. So sometimes they don't correct other men. Sometimes they don't step in. Sometimes they don't do anything, say anything because they only want to do and say something if it benefits them in getting the attention or a connection with a woman they want. So they actually profit off of the behavior of bad men. And so now um I want to go into the old whole another form of it that women want cookies and ray rays, that the good man, the nice guy, he always gets left in the dust. And you'll see many men actually ridicule other men. I just did a post recently about nice guys finish last because men are the ones ridiculing them. And so they avoid being nice. They avoid being good because they don't want to be ridiculed by other men. They're seeking male validation and approval. And so they'll sometimes be ugly to women, be mean to women, even starting as teenagers, because that's what's going to get their boys to say, ha, ha, look at you. You didn't let her get away with anything. You put her in her place. Look at you, big, strong man. And now we have this idea of the Pookie and the Ray Ray that I just mentioned. And one of the great quotes that I love is by a guy, and I think his name is Marquette. I put it on the meme, and he was talking about how women want spark and safety. They want charisma, that's the spark. They want romance, that's the spark. They want excitement, that's the spark. But they also want safety, that's the what we call the good man, the character, the stability, the security, the safety, the protection. And if a man has only one, okay, the safety, or only the other, the spark, then women don't necessarily go for him. It is the person who has both that women necessarily gravitate to. And a lot of men who just have the safety are angry because they see the men with the spark getting more attention. All right. So now that I've kind of recapped those 12 memes, I'm going to go a little bit further into the idea of he can be a good man, but not a good partner. So I created this meme and it says, you want a good pet, you want a good vehicle. Does someone else thinking the pet or vehicle is good mean it's good for you? Of course not. Now let's apply this to dating. A good man is not necessarily a good partner. Just like a good man can be a horrible son, father, brother, or friend. Also being, quote, good doesn't mean you're compatible. Every good man doesn't get the job, car, home, or apartment he applies for. He has to be accepted as a good fit. It's not automatic. So, just to go a little bit deeper into that, being a good person, having a job, having a car, having a place to stay, having a personality does not necessarily mean you have any other relationship skills. It doesn't mean that you can communicate. It doesn't mean that you're faithful. It doesn't mean that you can emotionally regulate. It doesn't mean that you have the same goals or similar or compatible goals with the person that you want to date or marry. It doesn't mean that you want to be a father if she has children, or you want to be a father if she wants to have children. It doesn't mean that you don't want to have kids if she doesn't want that. It doesn't signal compatibility. So being a good man is just a foundation. It's what you build upon that foundation that actually makes that house what somebody wants to live in. If you're building a 1 bedroom and they want a 2 bedroom, you're not compatible. If you're building a 1 story and they want a 2 story, you're not compatible. So we have to understand that being a good man or a good woman is just the foundation. It gives an opportunity for other things to be built upon that foundation that are strong and healthy and are able to sustain a relationship, but it does not mean that that's where you stop and everything is supposed to happen automatically after that, just because you're a good man. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I'd love for you to like, share, subscribe, and sponsor. You can check out my podcast, Zenergy, Zennurgy. It's on 25 different streaming platforms. You can also check out my 5 books on Amazon. I have 2 poetry prose memoirs. I have a guided journal, an undated planner, and a children's book. It's also National Poetry Month. So I am going to do an audio for one of my poems from chapter 3. You can check out chapter 1 and chapter 2 that I posted yesterday and the day before. And also, please pick up my books. I would love for you to review them if you already have them. I would love for you to pick them up if you haven't. You can also find them free on Kindle.